Yeah, Zero fucking had me jump on a Zoom call with his mentor.
Oh?
This guy that's been trading for like 50 fucking years.
Yeah.
Hold on. So I'm gonna interview the guy on the show on YouTube or whatever because they're like really high time frame traders and they just they move and make ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, he was telling me they look at like the fucking monthly time frame. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah, right.
That's insane.
Yeah, they like he told me why he survived the pits and the other guys didn't.
Uh-huh.
Shit like that.
That's fucking cool, dude. That's gonna be a good fucking video. I think that'll expand a lot of your viewer base too, because a lot of people are interested in that sort of shit.
Well, the guy seems like he's cool as fuck and he cusses a lot.
Yeah, a lot of those old pit guys usually do.
So he's willing to teach me how to do this shit,
Mm-hmm.
trade like him. And for me, I'm a bit hesitant, but Zero's been trying to get me to do it for years.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
So we'll see. It's just an opportunity that's opened.
Yeah,
But
big time.
anyways, let me let me see your let me see your screen.
Sure.
We're gonna have to watch your trades.
Yeah, yeah, big time. It's fucking disappointing because I wasn't streaming the whole day. Halfway through, I realized I wasn't streaming. But I caught the last ones, which are the most important. Because I want to nip that shit in the bud. Initiating. Let's try it.
All right. Let me fire up Sierra. Also talked to another trading veteran over the weekend. My friend's dad
Oh, that's
been
cool.
doing it since '87.
What does he trade?
Arbitrage.
Oh shit.
So
And he still does it?
yeah, he's gonna retire though. He can't trade his own account. He has to go through a bank. So he has to go through a bank for some reason.
Huh. Interesting.
And COVID really has changed a lot of things. I mean, he can still trade, it seems, but it's the way this guy talks or Zero's mentor. It hurts to listen to
Mm.
because like I don't. It just I feel like what I do is so much simpler,
Yeah.
but then again, like like Zero's mentor is running hardcore technical analysis. Like some of these old school people that are still in doing it, like Linda Rashke and all that,
Mm.
they're technical analysts, you know?
Yeah, yeah, to the core, dude. And they've got like fucking binders full of charts from fucking the 90s that they run back tests on, and they've got all this fucking data, and eventually all that data becomes internalized in their heads, and they can just fucking do it, you know? It's cool.
Yeah. You still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's gonna happen is you're gonna give me the first time stamp.
First time stamp on the first trade.
Yeah.
So 10:55:11. So just account for that. by an
Central
hour.
or Eastern?
Eastern.
So I'm 9:55.
And on most of these, I have screenshots of the execution.
Okay. Let me stream your screen.
Yeah, I got it up.
Oh, you are.
And I've even got a screenshot of what my my thinking was going into
Right.
the session.
I'm gonna piss real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Okay, so you actually have your executions plotted and shit.
Yeah, and I've got screenshots of most of them. Not all of them. There were times where it was getting a little fucky, and I didn't get screenshots of them.
Pull up your equity curve real quick.
You want to filter it for that day. It was 21, right? Yeah, 21. So that's my equity curve for Friday.
Okay, so one thing I'm gonna say is if you're taking 40 trades, that's entirely too much.
Yeah, big time.
What happened? Why did you keep going?
Um, well, initially, I think my first, like you made a good point in that my session was split into 3 sessions. And you can
So
kind
you
of
did take 3 breaks.
yeah, you can kind of see that on the executions. There's my first session, second session, third session.
Yeah.
I think what happened with my first session was I was falling in love with a big picture idea.
What was your big picture idea?
I've got a screenshot of it here.
So it's a lot of longs.
A lot of longs. So it's essentially a breakout play. Um, there's my first attempt at this breakout play was a little too impulsive. So you can see like right.
What did you
here,
think they were gonna break out of?
this range right here on the 10-second chart. So we had this range right here. Let's,
Which they did.
which they did. But I started getting long too early. It top ticked this range and I flipped short, and I had some really good short trades initially. So I did one long for 200. I was in the green a little bit, and then I flip hit for plus 62. And that put me pretty solid green on the day. And here's where I think I had a little bit of overconfidence. I was like, "Oh, this is my price action." Like this is I kept thinking that in my head all day. I was like, "This is my price action," you know.
For
But
every trade.
for the first while. So until we started getting into these big red ones here, I was thinking like, "This is my price action. This is my price action." But I think hitting it so many times, like 4, 5, 6, 7, and they're tiny trades. I think I was too aggressive, and I'm pretty sure that's represented in my yeah. I had one aggressive there, and I think this one was aggressive. Yeah. So just being a little too aggressive on my trades, and the frequency was a little too tight. So from 10:25 to 10:37, I had 7 executions, which is a lot compared to how I usually trade. Like usually I'm much more calm and I practice a lot more restraint. And then we come into the big losses, and these were longs too.
Why did you take those?
Let me remind myself here. Yeah, so these were emotional trades, big time. So you can see, you can kind of, this is a really good screenshot. I think this summarizes it perfectly. I'm getting shaken out of trades up here. So I'm still going for the breakout. It failed back here, and I flipped short, and I got some good trades out of it, thinking it was going to mean revert all the way back down, but it didn't. It defended. But it's not really a great setup. It's kind of compressing up, but not enough. You know, like this. Looking back on it, this isn't a great setup for me. However, at the moment, I'm thinking, let's get long here for a breakout. I get long here, and I get shaken out. I just want this reclaim to go back up quick. It doesn't. That was a decent cut, but it's still too tight. Like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ticks, and I'm cutting after 2 ticks. I think I'm not trading like we've been trading the last few days. Like Wednesday and Thursday, I was letting trades breathe. I had a clear fucking direction, and I was a lot more confident. Whereas these, like a 2 tick loss so quick, and then over here I take a 1 tick loss, and then over here I take a 6 tick loss. I'm getting in on like the top of a micro range, like a slip range, almost slipping right here. You know.
All right.
So it's I get impulsive there.
Before you continue, let's just look at the shit. You got everything on Sierra charts executed? Let me see that.
Yeah. So
you start executing in there. 10:25. You start executing at 10:25.
Yeah, that's. Let me get rid of my fucking logs.
Well, I'm gonna do some analysis so you can pull up your Sierra charts.
My shared screen. Yeah, let's do that.
So we would be kind of mid on a 30-minute range. 30 seconds. Joe, it was the 21st, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a huge puke, very choppy. This is the bottom of a range. If we go to the 30-minute, we have a triple bottom on the 30-minute.
Okay.
So everything looks to me like it's going to be mean reversion right around the open. And you wait till 9:25 to start trading.
Yeah.
So it would be this section here. Go to 10 second. Do you have those executions those arrows you can show on a 10 second?
Yeah, this is 10 second.
Okay. All right. Coming back in, looking at my screen. So I'm gonna analyze this from as if I don't know what's happening.
Okay.
Liquidity is clearly up here. You have liquidity in the bottom as well on this green line. The lows at 52s.
Yep.
They're taking a lot of the reclaims back. They leave a reclaim here. They leave a reclaim here. Then they're leaving one up here. On this up move, are you seeing where I'm drawn?
Yep.
Or
Yeah,
no?
I'm seeing your giants.
Okay. Because I see you're looking at a specific screen.
Sorry, I'm just removing this real quick.
So you have that's on one screen and the other shit's on another screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see the white boxes. We're going up. What they're doing here is struggle grind, puke, flat bottom, flat bottom, flat bottom, struggle grind down, flat bottom. These little flat areas. Struggle grind, puke up. Flat bottom, V flush. Flat bottom. Struggle grind. Seems pretty random. But I know on this up move we're on it. Looks decent. So your first blue arrow, I think is too early.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to want to make sure that we can get this flat bottom here.
Mm-hmm.
What you do on the trade 2, and then you cut it near the top as it top ticks.
Yep.
I would say that's good. So I guess trade 2 you made money.
Yeah. Yeah. Trade 2 is a good trade.
And then you immediately flip to a short. Which you make money on.
Yep. Short scalp.
I wouldn't say that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, you wait, which is good. So at this point here, which you can see that, right?
Yeah.
What I just drew? Okay. If they top tick, there's a shift. So we know they're denying the liquidity above us, but they've also denied it on the bottom. To me, there's no reason to be trading.
Sure.
This section at all. Which you go banana nuts in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Three trades in such a tight area. Which I think has a lot to do with contentment. Like, even though I'm green on the day, it's not enough for me, you know. Which sounds stupid saying it. Like, those words coming out of my mouth sounds fucking stupid. But that's probably what I was thinking at the time, you know.
Do you have a secret desire to fail?
I'm not gonna say no to that. I think that failure is something that I've become so used to in life. Like, I have failed at a lot of things I've tried in life, and I've kind of accepted it almost. But not in like a negative self-talk kind of way. Like, I'm not a negative self-talker. I don't set myself up for failure. But subconsciously, I do think that failure is a big part of my life. You know?
Okay. So at the point where I have the X's, I wouldn't be. At this point, it's like, are they gonna go down, or are they gonna go up?
Yeah.
So what I notice is here they are struggle grinding down a little bit. And over here in this area, we have up in this area where I put that A, that
Yep.
they struggle grind down, but then they struggle grind up.
Yep. And that was a
Since-
pattern I picked up on earlier in the session. It was like, I know the last 2 sessions we traded together, they were doing that struggle grind puke kind of pattern.
Yeah, so we don't know but that's the thing, we don't know if they're gonna, which angle are they doing it at? Because it
Yeah.
seems to be mixed.
Yeah.
It's mixed, so I
Indecisive.
wouldn't be leaning into this more recent one. Now they do puke it here. Which I would say potentially taking along in that section isn't bad, which I think you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zoom in.
So no, it was
Zoom in
after
more.
I missed it.
So you're getting in it too late.
Yeah, I missed it.
At that point, it's not working. At that point, it's not going up. So this is telling me there's a problem, and then I would say there might be a range forming up here. I mean,
Yeah.
right where I drew this arrow, it's like something's happening and we don't fucking know what.
Yeah, something's changed.
Yeah, so the fact that it is going sideways, there might be a short. You just go nuts in there, and those will kill you.
Yeah.
It just takes one of those little areas to kill you, and I'm sure that. Where were you? How many trades was that, and what did it do to your P&L?
So let's go back here. Look at my journal. That was trade. So it was trade 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, but
and if I look at my P&L curve, put markers on. Yeah, 4, 5, 6. 7's a break even, and then I'd really start puking it.
go back to the chart with the triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's interesting because you go long here.
Yep.
At this point, I would say there is no long.
Yeah, and I think what was going on there was the downside impulse that I have.
Did you listen to the hypnosis track that night or no? Before
Before the
night.
session, yes, but not that night. I don't think. I
Okay.
might have. I definitely listened to it before the session, but I don't know if I did overnight.
Okay. So here, see at this point there's a range above us. Something shifted. The last thing we did is we're not getting through the liquidity on the blue line. You got a fucking range. You
Yeah.
do have liquidity down here. And then I would really be looking to gun it short at this point
Mhm.
right here. And I'd probably just ride the reclaim.
Yeah, yeah. Really good reclaim underneath.
Which they knock it out. And what's interesting is now you got this big ass quad bottom here. You go long in here, which was a mistake because the pattern shifted.
Yeah, yeah.
The pattern shifted. It's not. They've gone more flat up there. The liquidity up top is holding. If you zoom out on a 30-second, up until that point, it looks like a range. Like the range was right up in here. It looks like a range, and they're holding the top and the bottom like to the tick almost. So I'd be a fuckload more short biased.
Yeah.
Then when I drew the purple line on the 10-second, they held, and then they rip it back up, and now they're creating a I'm gonna erase a lot of this. They create have liquidity here. So they push it up. I'd still be short biased when they do that. They come back in. I would think on this next run down they would continue, and interestingly enough, they bounce it, and then they start to struggle grind up. So at this point, what this is telling me is this area has been held to the tick as well as 53s, 52, 50s at the very bottom of the session.
Yeah.
So they held the very low of the session to the tick. Now they're holding this midpoint to the tick, and now they're starting to drift up. So if I was in here and I started taking losses, I would just wait.
Yeah.
And since they are not there, since they are holding this section, buyers have moved it up to another level. Something's happening. They're refusing to go across the range. So now we need to figure out what's going on. They're drifting up. And now they're testing this high a lot. It's hard to say what they're doing, because I wouldn't trust that channel up.
Yeah.
That struggle grind, because they're kind of doing them every fucking direction. Then they puke it out, and we know. And let me see where you fucking. So you go long here, which at this point it's not even a fucking long.
No, chasing.
It's just like you're not. I mean, your contextual skills aren't there yet.
No, and I think all that shit fucking flies out the window when I have issues with contentment. You know.
That would make sense. Next. So you hit there long, which is a shitty habit you have. And then you take another long in this region, but they shake you out.
Yeah.
I think that long was valid, but you just should have fucking held it.
Yeah, I should have had wider risk. And if I wasn't draining all of my mental capital with this bullshit, I think I would have been able to hold that longer, you know. But
you do get back into it and pick up a chunk.
Yeah. I hit three green trades in a row here.
Now the thing is, I think those last two are not that great.
No, I think those are impulse trades.
So if you look at my screen now, they're kind of they puke it. Another struggle grind down, and then it pukes up on that one, and then it struggle grinds up, and then it goes flat here.
Mhm.
So now they're kind of faking out.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't really say what I would do at that moment in time because I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you this, once it starts breaking, that to me is put it on and hold it for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. Now, interestingly enough, they don't measure move out initially. 30-second chart. It's 89 ticks. Here on the 30-second, they definitely go mid. And I would be conservative. I would definitely attempt to go for 10 points on that breakout. And it's a reclaim assisted breakout. You can see so we're coming out of the range. You can see it is reclaim assisted. Unfortunately, they pull back to the mid of the range. Hardcore. But we know they're kind of dicking around.
Mm-hmm.
Like before the breakout on the 10-second, it faking out. And I guess you were taking a break at that point.
Yeah, so that was the end of my third session, or my first session, sorry. And that would have put me at,
Yeah, I know where it would be at. I've already cut the sessions up.
yeah.
Let me see your executions again. Go to the next cluster. What did you do when you took a break?
When I took a break, it wasn't necessarily like I wasn't keeping track of my emotions like I should have, because I clearly think my emotions were high in that first session, and I think a better use of my time during that break would have been to meditate or even just be done for the day, you know. And
Wait, what did you do specifically? You don't, nothing really?
I don't really remember. No, I might have worked out or something like that. No, that's not enough time. I don't think. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was before my third session. I worked out a little bit, but that wasn't even a good session. Yeah, I don't know what I did, man. I might have like taken a nap or something.
Okay.
It wasn't anything productive. I could tell you that much.
Why not?
I'm just speculating here, but it might have just been the fact of like, well, that was a fucking waste of time. You know, I traded up and then I traded down and then I traded up, and I'm like, all right, I need to do something else. I think part of my problem is I have issues being content on when I should end a session, and I think I should have ended my session then. Like I should have been done for the day, you know. And this has killed me in the past where I'll trade a shitty session, and then I'll come back later in the day and I'll be like, all right, let's do it again. You know, it's a bad habit. I think my time would have been better spent if I just reviewed, you know, went and watched some replays, tag some trades, and then fuck off for the day. Go play video games or something. But instead I came back. And I think it's a really, really toxic trait that I have.
Okay, when you came back, what were you seeing in this section? Because session 2 was arguably the worst for you.
Yeah, big time. I was doing a lot of flip it in. So let me go back and look at my trades. I came back at around 11.
Starts from 12 down, so 13 down to 28, I think.
Yeah. So, first thing I'm thinking is short. So I saw that we did like a fake breakout, and now we're accepting back in this mid range. To me, this still looked like liquidity, even though we've arguably already fucking ran through it. Like we kind of bottom ticked.
It is liquidity.
You know, so my goal at that point, or my thesis, was to trade into that liquidity and see if we could get a mean revert. Just because I think that's the way the wind's blowing right now, and I've been trying to get better on my short.
Mean reversion up or down?
Down.
Oh, shorts.
Down. Yeah, so shorts. So that was how I opened up my second session. I think what happened though is, again, contentment. I think contentment got the better of me here. So my first stab.
Yeah, you carry your emotions from the P&L into the next session.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
I think what I tried doing was I tried short, which I do think my first attempt was a pretty decent trade. I still think I'm lacking context. Like I don't think I should be trading in the middle here. But I liked that we invalidated this reclaim up, so we failed right here. We had that liquidity below us, arguably. I like that we invalidated this reclaim here. So I'm just looking for a quick reclaim down and then take profit into this liquidity. It doesn't work. So my first entry, I get taken for a few ticks. I try it again out of, again, I think it's like FOMO, like contentment. Like I just want,
all right.
First attempt didn't work and I want to get back in it.
Let me read. Look at mine.
All right.
Okay, so 10 second. We have a lot of reclaims, so the reclaim is technically here, and we did take all of it.
Yeah.
So they start coming back in. Now, it's not quite a V flush at the top of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the 30-minute. So 30-minute, we're still on the mid of the range.
Yeah.
That has been going back since 314. So when you're on the mid of a high time frame range, it's going to start slipping and sliding usually in every direction. So I'm going to be unidirectional. It comes in. Again, up here, they kind of struggle grind at the top, and then they slam it. We're coming back into that prior range. Struggle grind with the puke. Let me actually erase everything. Let's see what our big liquidity is. Here. Kind of right there as well. So we're still getting kind of this flat shit. We're still getting V flushes. It's kind of real random as fuck. Struggle grind, puke on a V. Struggle grind, puke, struggle grind. What's interesting is you're starting to get 3 struggle grinds in this region that are all facing downward. And the second angle of attack, the second one, didn't puke really hard. The third one, they puked it real shallow as well. I would say in this region, it definitely does look like it would be a short, which they do. You do have reclaims here. And well, we know they've already taken the reclaim left there, so now they're starting to take downside reclaims. But you didn't seem to be in the session up at this point, because I have a feeling as soon as you sat down, you started trading.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you have a reclaim right here. But they seem to, like, there would be a reclaim there, like there, but they seem to be kind of retracing them. It seems to be, like, kind of randomized, a little fake out. They puke it. And seeing how the patterns are a little, like, fake out, I would still be hesitant that they would run it all the way through that prior range. We know we got the big liquidity, excuse me, here. At this point, I just think in that area, even though it's ranging, you can't look at that liquidity and go, oh, they're going to run it. So you sit down at this point, and they tap the liquidity there, and they still fucking reject it.
Yeah.
They tap it again here, and they still fucking reject it. At this point, they're leaving a little reclaim up top. It's starting to look like a slip in there.
Yeah.
I could say maybe going short here on the right side of the V, which seems to me like you went short. There's just not enough information. You're trading without processing enough information. You're getting strung up on one idea.
Yeah.
So you go short, take a loss, short, another loss. You fucking flip it long and get absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah. Big time. And then I get short again at the bottom, dude.
It'll happen. You get ringed out, man. The moment you lose your shit, you're gonna start fucking fading this every which way, and it's gonna crush you.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
I think
Where I drew that. Go ahead.
I think one thing that I need to a habit that I need to build, and I need to start doing it like tomorrow, like starting fucking tomorrow. If I take excuse me, I'm just getting over a fucking cold. If I take a loss where I am clearly wrong, like if I'm taking a 4 or 5 tick loss and then it goes without me and then maybe it comes back, sure, maybe I'm off, you know. But if I'm taking a trade like this where I'm getting long and then it pukes against me and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? I need to be done, because that is an emotional trigger, and you and me.
Yeah, but the problem is you can't, man. It's like the Odyssey or whatever, you know, when, I don't know if you know that story, but there was a bunch of naked mermaids or shit singing.
Yeah.
And the people would take their pirate ships or their wooden ships and ram them into the rocks, and everybody would perish because they can't stop looking. This was happening to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not even, I'm not even saying this necessarily about P&L losses, but about just being an idiot, you know? Like,
here's what's gonna happen: is the only thing we can do is you're not trading without me for the rest of this coming week.
I'll even go as far to push that to a month if you're comfortable with that.
well, let's just see how this week goes.
Sure.
But
Sure.
here's the deal. Because you take like the 2 sessions we did trade together, you were pretty much making your own decisions,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was good.
Hmm.
But the problem is when I see you starting to fucking get that like look in your fucking eyes,
Yeah.
I'm able to say something and you just haven't built enough fucking awareness around it.
I also
Like there's
think
these little red flags that you just don't seem to be catching.
no.
And if you do notice it, that's great. But
Or sometimes it just feels better to ignore it. Like it's hard being accountable. It's hard being
I mean, you gotta
self-aware.
understand what you're dealing with. Every trader's dealt with and shit, and
Yeah.
it's just a path of destruction.
Yeah.
Every time it is very hard to make money, and you fucked our 2 days of progress up on this
Mm.
session.
Yeah.
It's fine because I allowed you to do that. Um, but it takes one bad day to blow out months of work.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think another aspect of it, which I was talking about with another buddy, is that trading with somebody live and having that accountability live is so much more different than having that accountability at the end of the day. When the mistakes are already made. And part of me knew that going into this session. I was like, Fat Cat's gonna hold me accountable, but he's gonna hold me accountable at the end of the day. Whereas when we're trading next to each other live, it's like you're holding me accountable. You're holding me accountable right then and there, which I need. It's a subconscious need.
So 2 things. If you're 10 trades deep and you're having problems, we should be achieving our objective in 10 trades.
Yeah, and if we're not, then the chances of those emotions flaring up just is incrementally higher.
You just want full monkey brain, dude.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I also think that the accountability live is going to be essential. This is why I think having the Muse headband
Mm-hmm.
and knowing what like you can't trade unless you're wearing the device, and you can't uh, execute until the brain waves are stabilized.
Mm.
I don't know how well that's going to work, but it's going to force you to actually have good brain waves.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you can hack it and cheat it where you start to figure out how to slow your brain waves down, but you're still trading like an asshole. You're just like able to subdue it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of potential. It just
Well, I also got a
you
lot
just
of shit working
fucking
against me. It's like,
you're fucking destroying it. You're self-sabotaging yourself.
yeah.
And I'm not. It's not as easy as me saying. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not saying, oh, you need to stop it. I understand how difficult it is.
Mm.
But I think the more you start to realize that you're really you have this like there is something inside of you that is trying to fuck you up.
Mm.
You gotta have to learn how to overcome that.
Yeah.
Because you might be battling it internally, and this voice is you're like, oh, I shouldn't eat that last Cheeto, and then
Mm.
the other part of you, the dark side, takes over and you just eat it.
I mean, I kind of had that problem with weed for a long time. You know, it's like, I know I shouldn't spend the last $40 of my paycheck on a bag of weed, but it's what do I end up doing? I end up going and getting a fucking bag of weed. You know, it's tough to fight those things, and at the end of the day, it's one day at a time. It's
Yep.
like, oh, I did it today. Let's do it again tomorrow. You know.
Well, the thing is, we have to make active steps to shifting this.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't just say we'll fix it tomorrow. We have to fucking implement solutions. Listen to the hypnosis track.
Mhm.
Go over this shit. Not allow you. I mean, for this week, I just can't have you trading by yourself.
No.
Because we need to start bankrolling out of whatever you've gotten yourself into. Because we're kind of flat at this point.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have to start chipping out of the motherfucker until it just becomes a habit.
Mhm.
All right, let's look at the rest of these trades. So we're in this fucking range at this point. There would be one good short. You're obviously going full tilt mode in all of this.
Yeah.
The problem is, as they're they are breaking that liquidity zone down here. They are.
Mhm.
The problem is, it's like not sustaining. They had a troubles doing it twice, and that's telling me something. And then on that third test, if they really deny it, try 3. That's really saying something. What are they doing on some of these smaller deals? They struggle grind it up, puke it up, struggle grind it down, puke it down, struggle grind it up, puke it down, struggle grind it up, puke it down, or struggle grind it low, flat, V flush out the other fucking end, and then it starts to go. And as it starts to go, I would say, let's erase everything. We know we got some naked reclaims. One is up in this region. We got another one right here. And then I would say at this point, they're starting to push, and they're pushing out of this range below us. This is a pretty good range in that area. It's 46 ticks wide, so we could potentially see a measured move out, which would be about here. So I would say at this juncture, there could be a long in here.
Mhm.
It's gone enough out of the range, and it's starting to kind of like leave like it's leaving like reclaims on the back end. Even this one didn't get. So, at this point, it's like, let's start looking to go for the measured move out. And they've rejected down here so many goddamn fucking times on that prior liquidity that this is telling me there might be a really hardcore long. They held it so fucking much. And again, if liquidity is being held, they're going the other way. And we know this original range, the first range, they didn't put the full measured move in, which would be 96s, 56, 96. I mean, you just kind of hold that.
Yeah.
And you were dicking around getting on that area, long break even, long one tick win loss, long you let it shake you out, short, and then you get whacked. And I'm talking, go to move your cursor to the far right. Those last 3 trades. Your crosshairs. Nope, down.
One's right here.
There. So you're hitting it before it breaks out, but after it breaks out, you get shaken out on the final long, and then you flip it short.
Yeah.
The last 4 arrows.
Too tight. Way too tight. Like ideal entry right here. What was that? 70? 70 even?
No, I wouldn't say that's that's a hindsight entry. I think the best one was the one that was the second to last arrows. Keep going. That. Up there. At that point, we know it's breaking.
Yeah.
From my narrative read, at that point, we know it's undeniable. Something has changed. We're not in that range. The liquidity down there is something's going on where they're being held hardcore at the bottom. You get shaken out on it, and you flip it, and that flip was retarded.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're not even thinking clear.
No. No, it's all out the window.
What's interesting is the way you talk and communicate and the way you trade at times are just 2 different beasts. It's almost like you turn into a fucking werewolf the moment the fucking moon is full.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like this nice guy, you understand what's going on, you're composed.
Yeah.
But the moment that goddamn moon goes full, you just turn into a fucking animal.
Yeah.
And then you like dust yourself off as your clothes are tattered and shredded from that phase, and you're like, ooh, I got a little carried away. It's real interesting. And this isn't to take a jab at you, because it's happened to me too, but when I turn into an animal, I know it. I start cussing, and you know, and you know what's going on too, but like you tend to keep yourself together. Is there something going on where you have this really deep internal turmoil mentally where you're beating yourself to hell internally?
No, I think it's the exact opposite. I think I'm letting myself get away with too much. Like I can let myself trade a session like this and hardly feel a thing. Now obviously that's something I'm working on as far as accountability and like review goes. Because I think the problem is a lot of traders, they have a session like this and then they never look at it again, you know. And I've done that before, and I don't want to keep doing that, you know. I want to look at it. I want it to hurt, you know. But I think the point that you just made, it's actually the opposite. The reality is actually the opposite. Where I am so calm and I am so composed while I'm making these decisions, which I think is scarier, you know.
You would think, but I would be interested to see your brainwaves.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure it's almost like you're repressing some emotion, but it's still in there, and it's fucking... Because you're making irrational decisions. You know you made irrational decisions, and part of the reason you're making irrational decisions is the blood's flowing away from the front part of the brain. Does it feel like your heart's beating faster?
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
Okay. See, and when we go into each session, it's so imperative that you focus on, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think in the next session, you're going to play your hypnosis track very quietly to where you can barely fucking hear it.
That's a good idea.
Okay?
Yeah.
So go to your next cluster of trades, which seem to be Got a nice long there.
Yeah, caught one here.
So you take a break.
Yeah.
What are you doing in here?
During my break, or how am I thinking about this?
Yeah, what are you thinking is going on
So-
in there?
Price action. I'm looking at like now we're back up to the top of this. Is this the 30-minute range here? What is this? 700s. Let me look at the 30-minute real quick. So, no, this is back at the mid. So we're back up at the mid of this 30-minute. I felt like this was almost the inverse of my downward impulse, where sometimes when we print a move so strong, I catch myself trying to fade it. So we printed this range up here. We're failing these highs, and then we top tick it. And I had a good top tick earlier in the session, if you remember, down here. Where was it? It's way back here, way earlier in the session. So I knew top ticks were working to some extent, but I don't think it was a good trade considering the circumstances. Like, we just ripped fucking face, and I'm getting short, at high
I don't
day.
think that. I think it actually is decent because it looks like a fucking range when you execute it.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. So I had the mean favor. It just, in hindsight, it bugs me that I'm getting short at high of day. I've always had this.
You waited for you waited for the third wave. I think I understand what you're saying, but it really is technically a good short.
Okay, that makes me feel
From
better.
a logical standpoint. Look at mine here. So they put in the measured move. There's a green line intersecting.
Yeah.
And the motherfucker was going straight vertical. At that point, it's going sideways, and you let it top tick. You have a good. It looks like a fucking range up here. You should have held it a little just to the bottom of the range for 5 points.
Yeah.
But then I see you continuously attempting to short it, which does work as it breaks out. So you're getting short when it breaks, which I think is valid.
Yeah.
I think those 3 trades are pretty valid, actually. It seems like maybe you do have some logic kicking in at this point.
I think breaks.
Because sometimes you'll like go, you're going in and out of werewolf.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're making good decisions there. And you're scalping it, which is good. Now the problem is trade the you got 1, 2, 3, 4. That 5th one. You average into that trade.
Do I? I don't remember doing that. Let's see. It's gonna be down here. Short. No. I think I re-enter it pretty quick though. I don't know why there's 2 arrows. It looks like I average in, but I don't. I don't know why there's a marker there.
What time is that?
This is 12:39.
Go to your shit again. The journal.
12:39:21. So short.
The other one's a short as well.
Yeah, short. Exit. They have different entry times. What's the exit time? 50. Exit time 39. Exit time 40. What the fuck? No, it doesn't look like it was average. It was just a
Okay, go
reinitiated
back
it.
to the
That's weird.
let me look at it. Anyways, all that other shit going on in there is just too aggressive. I mean, fuck's sakes.
Yeah, that's.
If you look
it's
at
getting
my
funky
shit,
again.
I mean, it's like we are in an uptrend, and if you're gonna hit it, you're gonna scalp it. Um, at this point, they go flat bottom. I wouldn't even. They're going flat bottom here. You got the fucking. You still have some reclaim in this region. It rolls back in. It's not even really struggle grinding. And at this point, I know that we're like mid pivoting ranges. If I zoom out,
Yeah, that's a good point. We are mid pivoting.
they mid pivoted this, so that might be a theme.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also like really failing to get through some liquidity like down here, especially on the bottom side. So they mid pivot up there. They start holding again like this. At this point, as it's coming back up, it would be hard to say. Are they going to slip range here? But as they come out up in this region, it's like there might be a long in there, but the problem is it would go so sideways I'd want to break even on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it finally would work. I wouldn't want to be in on that. And then go ahead and scroll right because you start trading that bullshit. I mean, you're just trading bad areas.
Yeah.
Hey, you just need more guidance, really.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, it's one thing to trade like shit, but it's another thing when your read is shit, too.
Yeah.
And then now you're just fighting your life for your life. Are those your last trades?
Yeah. Yeah, these ones right here.
No, I have a trade. It's much later in the session. Get the read. Give me a minute. Trade's at 336. So at this point, I'm measuring out a fucking range.
Hmm.
So they've held that. I'm like, okay, they're going to probably push up. There's a mid. So I want to be trading into the range. Hold on. So you know what I'm saying here. Let me get a screenshot of this. Come on, Flame Shot. Where the fuck are you? So we got a range here. I put that blurred this one tool on a on V. So we're being held 1, 2, 3. Text. Holding to the tick. Long biased. because I rolled in later in the session, this will be a 30-minute chart. So text 30-minute. Control C. So I know also before I do that, they could slip here. Possible slipping. Unidirectional, really. Or both directions. Control C. Paste it. Let's see what's going on here. What the fuck? Huge reclaim. This is where you last. So they've e-flushed there. They kind of flush it there. So what do I say about it? Keep watching it. So I say they're taking reclaims on both ends. Notice how I'm drawing that. But currently they're downtrending it. So now I'm checking for flat bottoms. So I noticed with the flat bottoms, they're kind of like bottom ticking.
Mm.
And then I'm not even sharing my fucking screen.
Yeah.
So there's a flat top. So I noticed they're top ticking and bottom ticking a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, let's do this. Let's. Oops. I don't know why it's so goddamn dark. So 10-second chart. We know they're holding here, here, here. So 4 reclaims. Downtrend on multi-direction structure. Lots of bottom ticks. Lots of top ticks. Arrows. Rep. Hold on. Arrows, rep, lots of bottom and top ticks. Down here, there's a V flush. V flush. major area. So Control C, I'll put it in the journal. Next. So that right here, what is this? Pencil. Right here, this is going to be the first V-flush of all flat tops. So there's a lot of flat tops on this down move.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one to the top end. 10 seconds. So I noticed there's a shift in pattern right there. I know we're multi-directional at this point.
Can you expand on multi-directional?
I think we could trade both sides.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So there's no
It's
real
not long or
bias.
short.
Okay,
It's a range day. It's a range. At least this area is.
sure, that makes sense. Continue.
So you have flat top here, flat top here, flat top here, but they V-flush it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting long because I do notice that I think they're going to break that struggle grind. I noticed that. I mean, really, what I mentioned. Hold on. So. Again, first V-flush, flat tops, so that's a pattern change.
Excuse me.
Struggle grind. Struggle grind, and they've been blowing out the entire session. So I get into it. I think I get in a little early. But I decided to hold it. I fuck it because I should have held it longer than what I did. Let me check the tags on it. So as far as ranges go, we're like pretty dead center of the high time frame. And I believe we're dead center. Let's look at Sierra chart. I'm getting in right here. Getting in right in this location. So there's a medium range here. We're pretty dead center on that. This is at the price of 98. So we're about here. So we're not dead center. We're actually going in. So the tag would be this, and then mid, none. Certainly have a little bit of a reclaim on my back end. We're mid, close window. Should have held it for more. Get into it. It kind of jerks around. Hang out in it. See how I'm just really letting this dick around and breathe and shit. So I'm noticing some other things going on. I get out for what I think is $1,000. I should have pushed it. I knew it. I should have pushed it through that final reclaim. Because there was a pattern shift. Here. It all changed. Look at this, and I mark out these other struggle grinds here, here, and then they do one here. It all shifted. But anyways, yeah. Well, are you gonna be trading tomorrow morning or what?
Yeah, and I want you to hold me accountable to something. Um, the shit that you're doing with all of these screenshots, I want you to be like a fucking drill sergeant, man. I want you to make sure I'm doing this. Because this is scratching my brain. Like what you're doing with these annotated charts is really making me understand your edge, and I need to start doing it. Not just at the end of the day, but like as we're trading, I need to be taking screenshots and playbook and putting them in my book of charts, and drawing on them and shit like that.
Okay.
Because this is how I learned, dude. Like this is really striking a chord.
Okay. That's what we'll do. You need to call me in the morning.
Yeah, I'll call you. I'm thinking 10 o'clock my time, if that's alright with you.
That's when you want to trade?
Yeah, I think my trades right at open haven't been very good lately. I like it when we have at least 30 minutes of character.
All right. Cool. We'll do that.
All right, man. That sounds good. And we'll I'll start fucking annotating, dude. I'll abuse the fuck out of that screenshot tool that we got.
All right, that works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you later.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it. See you later.
Hey.
Oh shit. Hey, what's up, Chewy? Sorry, I got out of it too
Yeah.
fast.
I was just listening in. How you doing, bud?
Good. It was a good, quick little review session. I think we
Oh yeah.
came to a lot of conclusions.
I'm glad, dude.
Yeah, and we got a lot of shit we're gonna implement tomorrow. I think the biggest problem I'm having is just focus. I gotta be focused.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. Because emotions are a side effect of that. But as long as I'm focused, like I can keep those emotions in check. You know. It's
Yeah.
when I lose focus and I start just fucking clicking buttons, dude. Like that's when shit gets hairy.
Dude, have you listened to any Mark Douglas?
Yeah, I have. I've listened to a lot of Mark Douglas.
Really?
Not nearly as much as I should. Like I haven't read his book. I really want to.
Dude, if you like, so that's something that really has helped me, dude, is like understanding, the laws of probability so long that you have an edge.
Yeah.
It's in your interest to just execute it, and really just kind of not have any expectations, because if you execute your edge, what it takes to even make that trade a winner in the first place is, other, say if you're long, other people getting long in front of you to make that trade a winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you really don't have any control over the outcome of any given edge.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just over a series of trades that, it'll show up, and that's why you got to leave the expectations aside. And let me tell you, if you can leave the expectations aside, it's really freeing, man. I'm kind of there right now, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Hopefully,
Hopefully I can. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But like if whatever your win rate is, if you got like a weighted coin, like where it flips heads 70% of the time and it flips tails 30% of the time, I don't know what your stats are, but for one, you'd flip that coin all day if you were making $2 and only losing $1 if but there's no way of knowing when throughout, like, say 1,000 coin flips, I guarantee you, throughout those 1,000 coin flips, it'll still eventually flip tails 3, 4, 5 times in a row, even though it's 70, 30%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if you can really internalize that sort of mindset, it can really help you with your trading, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're not gonna. It's not just gonna. Like, you can't just snap your finger and that's your mindset, you know. And I'm making a note of it right now to read more Mark Douglas, because I do think that reading
it's
and
huge, dude.
consuming that sort of content, it just reinforces it. Like, your brain is thinking about that more often.
Yeah, dude.
So that's something I'm gonna implement, definitely.
Yeah, like recently, dude, like I'll literally like go to sleep listening to like Mark Douglas psychology, dude, like every night because like dude, for me, it's like the only thing separating myself from being consistent is myself.
Yeah.
At least I think. I think that I have a pretty good understanding of how the market works from a supply demand perspective, so I can execute trades with some sort of edge. It's just you versus yourself out there, man. That's really it.
Yeah, exactly.
So important, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But anyways, dude, if like you said, if you need like an accountability guy, if I'm ever on, I'd love to do that for you if you need me to.
fuck yeah, dude. I see you in here all the time, so I will absolutely take you up on that, man.
Yeah, dude, just if you pop in one of the calls, dude, I promise I'll see you. I'll probably hop in.
Deal, dude.
So even if I'm not in a VC myself, I'm
Sure.
probably keeping an eye on the freaking
Lurking,
the
just
server.
lurking.
So I'm lurking, yeah. I'm like a shark in shallow water.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'll hit you up, dude.
Yeah. All right, for sure, dude. Anyways,
Have a good one, dude. Enjoy your Sunday.
yeah,
Fucking
you
rest
do.
up, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir, Ski. I'll see you, man.
See ya.